Here, Happy New Year. The minutes are attached, so
I read that.
look at the minutes, or you've already looked at them.
I approve.
I second.
Wonderful. So, Seventh Avenue grand opening.
I know, I cannot.
So excited.
I know.
It looks so,
Um,
it really looks so good.
yes, it does look amazing.
Have they opened Locust to Seventh now or is that still?
Nothing's going on in there. I've been asking what the deal
That's
is.
still closed.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll open up soon.
Yeah, I hated old Lab Mercantile couldn't hang out. That's a shame, but they were a little they liked their stuff a lot. They had cute stuff, but they kind of liked it a lot. Yeah.
So May 3rd or 7th, it's the Seventh Avenue Street Fest. It's in conjunction with the opening day of Farmers Market.
Oh, good.
Will overlap at the end by about an hour, so, market closes at 1, it'll start at noon. We are gonna close the entire street when the market, when Maple closes, because it's just too ridiculous once people are parked, we're not getting them out of there.
Oh, so at the beginning, the morning, you're
So in
gonna.
the morning, it will be blocked off. We're working on, music. Well, right now I'm working on music. So I'm gonna try to get the stage from the county. There'll be music. At the moment, we don't really have a budget for it, but I'm gonna create a sponsorship packet for that. I do already have some interest. I'm gonna go, on the pavement for that one, to try to get as much as I can. We were already talking about what that sponsorship packet would look like, but I'm not gonna get too much into that because I've got sponsorship at the end. So, yeah, and Nancy, are you on that?
Yeah,
Okay, well, Nancy.
well, we want to have the stage. I think we're wasn't it 1 o'clock? We were gonna have the big cutting
And cutting.
and all that. We want to actually have,
We'll have to look at the scheduling for it because we probably won't want to have it at the same time that loadout is for the vendors. So we'll want to look through the scheduling
okay.
on figuring that because there'll be a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
If it's right when the market.
Yeah.
closes.
I'd say more like 2:30 would be a better,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get,
Have a ribbon cutting
yeah,
and we want to have, the tents, the beer tents and all that around and music and the vendors and they're gonna, he's gonna set up the market so the vendors that want to stay for it will be on that end. And all the farmers and all that want to leave will be on the other end and can get out. So we're gonna do that.
Load out the same way we've been loading even though.
For that.
For that,
That one.
and then we'll go back to the.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We did an initial plan of what streets will be closed off. She has a diagram of that. So that was our initial thoughts, but now that we're down to the nitty gritty, we really got to work out. All right, so what time, who's gonna do it and all that. So a lot of different ideas were shared and discussed, but nothing's put on paper yet, except for this. We said we'd close the streets down.
Yep, basically close it where the construction has been essentially. And what we're thinking is probably put the stage and was at the smaller stage, like the ones we have for Halloween, not like the Rhythm and Bruce
mhm.
stage. Maybe right around here on Locust, but we're gonna meet with the Seventh Avenue businesses on Tuesday too, just to kind of get an idea for it.
And that stage, the same kind of thing, it comes in, it just pops up, it's got
It's just more like a platform.
platinum right up.
But it's, yeah,
With the,
No,
nothing,
it's not
just a platform,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what's gonna happen if it rains?
Will we ask the mayor to lead the ribbon cutting or who would we ask to do that?
it probably would be the mayor if she's available, and, oh, there's Jack. What,
Disregard my text.
I told Bev as we're walking up, Inside a petrol walk, he hasn't texted me yet.
I just said.
But we,
I'd say, where are you? I saw you coming.
we gotta start lining up the people that are gonna talk. I think that's probably one of the first things we have to do. And then what kind of, you're working on the music already and,
Working on the music and the stage.
And the art league has said, so they do the artscape banners, and so normally they have their what do they call it? Their reveal or whatever of the banners.
Mhm.
And at somewhere else, but they're gonna try to do that day. Just to have an extra, like, filling up the day with some
Mhm.
activity.
Are they gonna put banners on Seventh Avenue now that it's done? Or is it still gonna be just,
They used to have them there, so I think that they will. We haven't figured out, I think.
I can't remember if they
Didn't
ever-
how many holes there were.
So, yeah, it's just kind of, I guess after that, we'll know a lot more for next month after the meeting with all of the people that are on Main Street and who's gonna do what and,
And Locust.
and Locust, yes. And then logistics is gonna be, because it's just that 2 blocks, so it's gonna be not too bad, pretty easy. As long as I can get that stage from the county, that would be great. We're really not sure what the budget is gonna be like, so I wanna kind of be careful with all that, and anything that I can get at no cost is great. But then kind of filling the streets with, the breweries and the vendors and people from market and music, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're
It'll be fun.
kind of just for the whole year, because, Rhythm and Brews has had rough rain last year and quite a bit the year before. And then, the past couple of years, we've received a lot of money from the Tourism Development Authority to help our events. And they're not gonna be doing any of the grants that they've been doing in the coming year because of, projected shortfalls in their budgets from the hurricane. And so we're tightening some stuff up as far as our budgets for the year, because we also, Terry seems to be hitting the pavement pretty good on the sponsorship, but there may or may not be some sponsors that are kind of pulling back because
they just don't have.
depending on how they did
Yeah.
related to the hurricane.
Storm, oh, sure, oh, yeah. It's gonna impact for several.
Yeah, some of them are probably doing quite well after the hurricane, depending on the type of
Right.
business that they've got.
So we'll definitely for next month have a lot more. I think we'd actually almost have probably a timeline and,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and some bands that we know for sure, the timeline and, who's participating, I would think. Yeah, more the logistics of that.
So when do you contact the market vendors about the?
I sent an email out to our vendor advisory board, when we're gonna be meeting later this month to discuss just changes in general, and that's when I'll talk to them about it. And then when I send the application email to all of our returning vendors, which is a lot of our bigger, farms and food vendors, in that email, I will add whatever information is discussed a little bit more with detail, just kind of to those vendors first. So that way, when they're applying to be a vendor, they can say like, oh, I definitely want to be a part of that. So that way I can go ahead and put them where they need to go.
When I was doing some research, they were, some of the cities actually give. Good morning. Some of the cities actually give out little tokens of the grand opening and all that. And I, with budget and everything, we may not be able to consider some.
Buttons of the Seventh
Are you
Avenue
talking about,
buttons.
like farmers market tokens or
Oh, tokens. Oh, okay,
Like-
sorry.
something, or?
Like some of them had, a keychain with seventh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Buttons.
well, we have.
Yeah. We'll have some swag. We've got some already, but we'll have some more like kind of giveaways. So.
Remind them, yeah, Seventh Avenue.
Yeah, for sure.
We
That
have,
was one thing in my research that I came up with that,
because we do have,
that I,
have stickers, we have buttons, and we can, by then, certainly get some more stuff. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
So we were just talking about the Seventh Avenue, the grand opening. So. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so just going through, we don't have a whole lot to talk about now, but next month we definitely will. I think that'll be much tighter. Barefoot and Bears. Joel is just wrapping up production. We actually got, we did something different this year as though in, because we kind of got a little behind with that. We actually put an initial order in. Like everybody, the most bears we get are the ones on all fours. So we just went ahead and ordered like, I think 10 or just because we knew those were gonna go. So we did an initial order, which really helped him get a head start on that. So bears should be in at the end of the month. So all the
Have they all been spoken for?
Yes, so they were all spoken for in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, the way we're doing the sponsorship now, it's just kind of we make sure everybody knows, listen, this is the time, this is the date, we do it the week after the auction. And it opens at 10:30 and be ready. They need to, know what kind of, not the shape, but they need to kind of know what they want and have the money to do it. And, they went quick. I mean, they were gone in the day.
Wow.
It's kind of wild.
So, bears are a hot commodity these days. They're really sought after, which is great that keeps up. So the bears will be here by the end of the month.
Any more talk about doing something on Seventh Avenue?
So our
Main or,
committee is talking a lot on public art right now.
okay.
So I think that that's probably where something will come about from it, if it's an annual thing or if it's just more of like a installation type of thing, because
Right.
I don't know if we'll want to do something that's exactly the same as what we do on Main Street around Seventh.
True.
And some of that will also be kind of, I'd worry about putting just a couple fiberglass things on Seventh until we see how, because we, from talking
Yeah.
the other day
Lots
about
of
cars that
buses.
are driving through.
Mhm.
That stop sign that they don't realize.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of those happen on Main Street, so I could only imagine what might happen on Seventh too, until we kind of see how the traffic flow and everything. works with it.
That makes sense.
So I kind of want to see when it's fully open on where we can fit them and how this public art committee might want to think about doing it.
Makes
Not
sense.
that many corners on Seventh Avenue.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's not any,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So we'll have to kind of see how we want to
Yeah.
do something with public art over there.
You have a question on Seventh, talking about driving through. Will the light be going back at Locust or is it gonna just be the three-way stops?
It'll be a lot.
It's already, light's already up, it just not.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, Duke, just hasn't come back to do the electrical stuff yet, and so their city's been calling them to do that, cause like there's no, the light poles are they even?
The three, the three light, whatever canister that is on the pole,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything in it.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
ones.
The parking limit signs are going up too.
Parking.
Yes, and flowers.
So that's really
The
bear.
time limited,
Mobile too?
No,
no,
it's the signs that were already out there before.
Okay.
yeah, just the time limited.
Same signs, but they're not up right now.
Oh, speaking of the parking, will there be new markings on Maple right there in front of the train depot? Because that curve has been extended. Like it's a whole different ballgame in there. Like
Yeah.
if people are parked on both sides of the street, I know the street didn't change.
Mhm.
People are losing their mind, like they don't know, do they stop, do they go, like people are confused.
Yeah,
Well-
we can,
And they, where that curb comes in down at the end of Seventh, and it kind of loops back in, and then that was not parking, you couldn't park there where the light pole was, but now like there's a whole space there, like it could be parking, so I got a warning ticket the other day. So I won't be parking.
that's on Seventh or on Maple.
On Maple. So it's just, it's just all the brick stuff there in the train depot. People are
Yeah, I drove down not too long ago and I am like, I was playing chicken with somebody almost because it's turned into almost a one-way with how the parking is down there.
It really
It's
should
tight.
be just allowed to be parking on.
One
the rear
side, yeah.
Not in front of the depot.
Yeah.
And then that would allow, and it just needs some markings and.
That's been brought up before and when I'm not sure what the,
I bet the train
Discussion.
people would not like that because they always park in front of the.
But they.
well,
they park in-
the other side is everyone always talks about cars going too fast on there. And so if there's only parking on one side, they're gonna go a lot faster.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
When the train depot people are there and I go in for my 9 to 12 shift, I can't find a parking place. I end up parking on the opposite end.
Really? Wow.
But usually the train depot guys are just kind of in front of the depot and then back. It's really closer to the intersection where those people are parking in front of the plaza that causes a lot of the issue.
Oh, well, maybe no parking there and just move it back.
There's a sign there that says no
Yeah.
parking here to the corner, but it does need to probably.
Yeah.
Because that turn in is so much narrower.
It's so much,
Yeah.
Than what it was originally.
Okay, I gotta bring that
So
up.
there is some, we've got a habit of it being a parking lot for, so. we're
Yeah.
like, whoa, don't, that's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
moving traffic, don't get out of that.
Yeah,
It's earlier than that.
yeah, I can bring that up.
Okay, so really that's where we are with Bears. Almost all of the sponsors have picked their artists. I think we're lacking about 5 artists. They have, within the timeline, where they are as far as the sponsors and artists. Pretty much right now, they have their artists picked because on February 7th, they have to have their concept and concept drawings in for the Bear. So it's getting close now for that. And I've got we work by, I give them a whole timeline of what they're working with all the way through to the auction.
What's the date of the reveal?
So the reveal is May 7th and the auction is October 25th.
Busy day, Mason.
And, so that's about where we're at with the Bears. It's going right along. Farmer's Market?
Calendar.
Oh,
Sorry, I
yep,
was typing.
and
25th for the auction.
What did you say? I'm sorry, what did you say the celebration was?
the
May
third.
May 5th.
No, May 3rd is the celebration and
Third.
7th is the Bears.
Is it?
Yeah.
So for the farmer's market, I don't really have too much to talk about right now, just because, like I said before, I'm scheduling a meeting with our vendor advisory committee to go over any sort of logistical changes that might need to change now that Seventh Avenue is open. Some things that I can tell you that we are gonna do that we've talked about is we're reducing vendor load in and load out speed limit even more than we already have, because speeding is still continued to be a problem, even with us enforcing a speed reduction. And then we're also gonna go over load in and load out changes, because I think there was a lot of good that came out of changing how we did it to what we did. Granted, we were forced to do that, but there was a lot of good that came out of it. I think things went a lot quicker. Like having vendors break their stuff down before go getting their cars and really enforcing that. But now the 7th is open. In my head, and Stacy, you can comment, your thoughts on this. I think it'd be really good if load in was kept the same way as we did this year. Have everybody come on 5th and exit 5th, but load out can be 5th out 7th. Again, just because load out is a little easier, load in just with the time, it's a lot longer. So people can come in and out a little easier and it's just quicker.
And that kind of is already directing them to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Because when they go out that other way, they tend to,
This is to
They don't wanna go back to the
they
court.
tend to not park at the courthouse.
Yeah.
If they're already there, then
But
they just
They
go
were already
on that
loading
way.
in that way though.
Hmm.
They were already loading in that way. anyway.
Load in back in the day used to be 7th.
Yeah, so that goes to the courthouse.
Oh, yeah, then
They've always been going directed.
Load out.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. They did load in that way.
Yeah,
They did
never
load it
mind.
that way.
But still, I think just with the time, having bigger vendors come in earlier to drop their stuff off and then move their cars, so that way smaller vendors can come in later. And then just
That
that,
worked really well.
it worked really well. And then just limiting how many people come in at once to allow people to unpack without feeling like they're gonna get hit or anything like that, not only for the safety of the vendors, but it also went quicker. I mean, as a vendor, do you think it went?
It was, well, I can just speak for what we did, coming in early and then having us set our streetscape up, so to speak, and then us just rolling our goods down. That forced us to stagger our setup differently, so it worked better. But I mean, I seem to gain from other vendors that they were, I didn't hear anybody fussing about it.
I think at first there was a little bit of just growing pains with change, but change is gonna happen and people aren't gonna like it. So I think we'll talk more about that at the meeting with the vendor advisory board, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. And we'll be sending out returning vendor applications at the end of January. We'll give them a little over a week to get those in, and then we'll be sending out new vendor applications beginning of February to our waiting list and just new vendor inquiries. I've already gotten a lot of emails from craft vendors wanting to join the market. But we do have a lot of new vendors this year that are returning vendors, like Caitlin Farms, which is our beef vendor, Ivy Field Farms, which is our pork vendor. So we do have a lot of good returning vendors as well. Hoping the fish guy comes back, but from what he talked about, he might not be coming back, but we'll see. As far as that goes, I've already started working on our special events for the market. So just kind of thinking about what might need to be changed. The only event that I think I want to adjust this year is Wellness Day. I think that could be a little bit more emphasized. And I think I specifically, because there was talk about us doing a senior appreciation day. I think I want to combine the two to a senior wellness day. Working with Council on Aging and working on different assisted living communities to shuttle seniors down for Wellness Day. I think that'd be really fun. Other than that,
I don't know, walkers on that brick is not a good. I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have enough assistance to make it easy.
Make sure they can walk.
Yeah.
They're ambulatory.
Well, and then, speaking on that, I've talked to Public Works, Ross Henderson, about coming up with some kind of ramp right there in front of the depot doors to help.
Well, that's
Actually, that's been a problem ever since we.
Yeah,
yeah.
We have the vendors that block the sidewalk.
right.
Where the ramp is.
Yeah.
The music tent and then Honeybee Bliss go there. So having some sort of detachable.
That we can just stick
Ramp.
out.
That we could keep in the back.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right, so I'm talking with Ross on that to see if we could do something there. And then Pink Day, we didn't get to do it this year with Party. It's a breast cancer awareness day in October that we really wanted to do. A simple event, but we're planning on doing that this year. Hopefully have the what's it called? The mammogram bus
Yeah,
there,
bus.
and having people be able to maybe do appointments there and stuff would be really cool, and maybe doing some special Pink Day merch, like a pink market shirt or something. Encouraging vendors to sell pink themed stuff like pink flowers, pink goods, things like that. So those are two events that one's getting a facelift and then one is new. So we're really excited about those. But other than that, I don't really have much else to talk
Matthew ought to develop a pink pretzel.
about. A pink
Or
dye
pink
transfer. A pink donut.
Donut.
That'd be funny. But yeah,
Cool.
any questions, Jack or Peggy, volunteer wise?
Sounds,
We're doing the same as
yeah.
usual for all that.
Maybe a new container for your kids' tent stuff.
So so actually, that's a good point, because we were talking
Another
about
tablecloth that has
A branded
a
tablecloth.
branded tablecloth. Yeah, okay, for the other,
for the other table, a nice table, like the one, it doesn't have to have the writing on it, it could, but.
That style.
what kind of
But
drapes?
one of that style, because those elastic ones are pains in the butt.
Yeah. I almost deleted all my notes.
Oh.
Okay, hold on.
also good.
Oh, and are we getting new parking signs? No parking
Okay, so I'm
signs?
glad you all said that, because that did remind me, because we just had our little team retreat the other day on planning everything, and we are getting new no parking signs.
Okay.
We are gonna get a couple new banners for the info tent, the music tent, And then we'll talk to you separately about Kids Corner stuff. Yes, because,
Taking over Kids Corner?
Well, we'll help sponsor it.
yeah.
Yeah, nice. Oh,
Because
good.
Don't commit to taking something over. It's a little busy over there.
Anything else on her plate?
Stacy, I am taking minutes. Don't say anything that you don't want on this. No, but just because if Stacy does sponsor it, we might rebrand it to like the Berry Pit or something like that.
Very patch.
The Berry Patch.
Yeah, Berry Pit, no.
I don't know, something.
Berry Patch, yeah.
Yeah, the kids corner is just kids stomping raspberries to make the jam. That's what it's for.
There you go.
But we are getting some new banners, some new no parking signs, things like that. I took a lot, Jane helped me clean out the depot at the end of this year, and we are going to fix a lot of the stuff that was inside the depot specifically. Maybe like Terry's getting a label maker for a lot of our stuff in the basement, so we can go in the depot for our shelves and label like where
Oh,
things
nice,
go.
nice.
Also refixing up some of the broken tubs, like the kids corner tub and the info tub. And just making sure that like everything's up to date and not,
New feather banners too.
we can get
We
those.
probably do need, yeah, those are.
They're kind of,
I was just gonna
They have last
spark it. They've lasted.
year, have we?
Yeah.
first year.
Yeah,
That's the first year, wow.
yeah, they've done really well.
Yeah, for the, yeah, something that we put out every time and that type of material.
Yeah, it's that they hadn't even ripped. I was shocked that they,
But they're probably getting pretty ready.
Yeah.
Terry's done repairs a couple times.
I think,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
You know, that little spring inside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're all taped up.
He's there, Terry's.
Yeah, we're also gonna be getting new sandbags too.
Oh, that's the other thing. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
have them. They
Oh,
just-
my God.
We just gotta get filled. Yeah, we have them, we just gotta fill it.
2 years.
Yeah.
I can come fill them. I'll come fill. I'll make them heavy, make them as heavy as I can handle.
So yeah, we will be doing kind of a revamp on a lot of our stuff that we use day to day at the market. So if there's anything you could think about that you guys use, because I know we just got a new wheel on the wagon. I'm getting a new banner for what we wheel out in front of the
Oh, good,
market.
good.
So yeah, the feather flags is a good idea. I didn't even think about that. So yeah, just anything that you might think of that I didn't say, just message me.
Basically everything.
Everything.
Everything we've been using for the last 4 or 5 years.
And I'm gonna get with Public Works and Terry Ketchum on remarking vendor spaces.
Okay.
Just freshening that up.
Can we make that the new slogan? We just got a new wheel on the wagon.
That's.
T-shirt and hat.
Yeah, I said it.
Instead of that.
We just got a new wheel on the wagon.
It's kind of like I feel like that's like one of those motivational posters. Like, yeah, and speaking of merch, if you guys have any ideas for shirts and stuff, because I'm gonna be frank with you, the t-shirts last year didn't sell as great as I thought they were. I really liked them.
I thought they were.
It was one of our best designs.
It might, yeah, well, you know, it might have been the color possibly that people were.
love you.
I mean, I do too.
Jack's wearing the color right now.
But it's not a real pop.
No, I
See,
understand.
for the masses, that may be a
Yeah.
different, but I love the shirts.
Yeah, I will say out of the last 3 shirts, I think the ones that sold the best were like the gray shirts with the little cabbage on it that said like Henderson.
Really?
Yeah,
That
the
one
V
sold
shirt,
the best?
the V shirts kind of dwindled out, but we resold those like this year too.
Yeah.
For a while, and then like, you know, a lot of the volunteers get those shirts as well. And then also, you know, we ordered about 25-ish hats and we didn't sell too many of those. We ended up with like 10 to 12 left over. We used some of those for like the volunteer party and stuff, so I'm not counting those, but we've
They're not
got,
eared, so they can just.
yeah, we've got 5 left
Yeah.
after the volunteer parties and handing them out to volunteers and stuff. So, you know, we might do small batches here and there, but that's probably not gonna be like a returning piece of merch regularly.
What about a yellow or gold shirt this year? Something to do with the sun or, you know,
I don't think we've done.
Kane's not gonna get us this year.
Well, we did do like,
Let the
we
sunshine.
did do the blue with the bright yellow.
Right, with the
beads
bees,
on it.
yeah,
So, I mean, a yellow sure, but
with the
we just wanna
blue or
think of
bees,
something.
yeah.
So yeah, any ideas and stuff that you guys might have?
I want a hat like yours.
Henderson Strong,
Gotta be a city employee.
you gotta be a city employee.
I don't need to know one.
Seriously, maybe you punch me in the alley. Yeah, so we're just kind of rocking and rolling. I mean, this is the start of planning. So I'm just in the planning phase right now. Programming music, cooking demos, things like that. One thing we've talked about at the vendor advisory meeting that, I'm hoping to maybe do this year, but it's a little niche and hard is, not just cooking demos, but craft demos. Some of our craft vendors have shown interest in kind of maybe bringing how they do stuff to the market,
I think
like,
that could just be at their booth,
and that's what we've talked about, whether we should do it separately.
basket guy.
Well, so what we talked about, an example, I'm glad you brought Michael up, was Michael could set
The
up,
whole time, right?
well, he sometimes does it.
Yeah.
He'll sometimes bring material and weave baskets. But we're like, if he was doing the demo that day, his booth would just be where the cook, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
demo thing was, and we would just advertise it.
Yeah, I think that's.
That's really all it would be, but I think it would be cool to have him weave baskets in the bigger crowd of people.
Yeah.
But other than that, if anybody has ideas or you think of something after this meeting that you want to bring up, just call me, email me, text me. We're planning, so nothing is off the table right now, so.
If you need a food demo, I could do like a jam. Jam is easy. It's
Yeah.
just a pot,
Absolutely.
answer questions.
Okay, Garden Jubilee. Garden Jubilee is in.
That's a dirty word.
We are really in the midst of it where everything, we Garden Jubilee things every day now. So we open it up to the returning vendors. So that has been out for a while. That application has been out. It comes to an end on January 31st. So that's why we're kind of coming to the end of the line there. And of course, a lot of people wait until
Last
the
minute.
last minute. So right now, we're at 66 returning vendors. And we have 20 vendors on the new vendor waiting list. And that increases by 2 to 3 a day. We have had a lot of interest this year, more than we've I've only been doing it for 2 years, but of the 2 years, there's been way more interest in new people coming. So I'm excited about that. That will open up. So with the new vendor waiting list, we actually do not open that up and put it out anywhere. We sit down as soon as all the returning vendors are in and that's closed out. We take that waiting list and Kim and I sit here and go one by one down the list. See who's a good fit, who's not a good fit. This year we have, they can't even be on the list until they've sent us pictures, like full description pictures, what their tent looks like. So we have it all, so we can go down the list one by one, and that is by invitation only.
Wow.
So that's not like, where sure, we'll send you an application. You're only getting an application if we really want you to be there. And then we kind of do the people we really, really want to be there. And then if they are unable to do it, then the kind of second choice down the line. We've got some amazing new vendors on that list. So I am super excited to have some new people. There have been about, I want to say at this point, there's about 5 people that weren't able to return, maybe 6. A couple of them are just, they've retired, they're, not doing it anymore at all. A couple of people have medical, like surgeries coming up, that kind of thing. So there, I think there's either 5 or 6, so that, those will be kind of already full. And then there were 3 vendors that we have not allowed back. So that was fun.
The email was, no, I'm just
That-
You crossed Terry.
Yeah.
Don't mess with
Hey, don't drive around the barricade.
Even she already knew, because that happened
Oh, I
like
know.
right then and there, but there are 3 vendors that, and that's always fun because we just don't send them the application. And then after a little while, they're like, oh, we didn't get our application, and we're like,
There's a reason for
yeah,
that.
you're not getting one. But yeah, so those emails are always interesting, but really, we have been really like the one girl where she had emailed yesterday and she's like, I don't know what he did. And it's like, well, you didn't show up Saturday and Sunday at the beginning of the show and your space was empty and no one was there and the show was going. So that's not a
That's a
thing.
huge thing, not.
We don't, that's not,
Yeah.
and then a couple of them that weren't,
How would you spend all that time setting up?
I don't know.
I think that does.
And then we make it very, very clear that, you know, all vendors are to be respected and, you know, whoever you're next to, that's your neighbor and all the thing. And we had 2 that just fought and fought and nope.
You're there for 2 days, like.
They're like, no, when they like went at it with load in and I'm like, they're not.
I didn't see any of that.
They're not coming back. So they're like, and I think, and that gets around quickly. This is a very, even though there's tons of these vendors from all over the
Tight-knit.
country, it's very tight knit. So now we won't have, I am sure we won't have any more issues because now that 4 people are out, I'm sure it's already gone like wildfire that if, yeah. Yep.
And I think that's helped us with the farmers market too, because we haven't had many that we've had to not allow back, but and I think that's probably.
Past 2 years, there's been 2 vendors that we've had to remove from the market. And I definitely think that has gone around the vendors, so.
Just like, you don't all get it just because you're here and because you've been here for.
It's not a right. it's a
Yeah.
privilege.
Yeah.
But the Garden Jubilee is an outstanding event.
It is, and we want it, and we've been, you know, we have a whole, at the end of the Jubilee, we get together, we take notes, we go through every little detail. And every year we have, you know, there's 5 or 10 things that we'll tweak. We tweak the application, we tweak the policy, we tweak different things of how we're doing things. And, you know what, we need some more porta-johns or we need, you know, so every year it's getting better and better. So I'm really excited about that. If I can, pull off the speaker series the way I want it to, I'm gonna be really excited about that.
Last
too.
year, it was good. It was.
And this is the year, the international speaker and the national speaker were not able to come last year. But they said that they would hopefully be coming this year. So we'll be adding a tent, we'll be adding a national and international speaker. So if I can pull this off, it'll be even better. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And that's kind of just like a daily, some crazy thing with that one every day. But it's going really, really well. And then Rhythm and Brews. Yeah, we're back in action with Rhythm and Brews. I have 3 to 5 bands a day right now contacting me. And some really amazing ones too, that I'm like,
How have we missed?
are they, like, how did they get, you know, come up with Rhythm and Brews, but yeah, really, it's
And we're sticking to all local this year.
local regional,
Yeah,
kind of within
give them something.
the area anyway. Yeah, for sure. Trying to, you know, keep the budget tight. as tight as,
Giving them a chance to play because the places are limited since
Yeah.
the storm and it'll
So-
be towards back.
there'll probably be a couple of regional, but certainly definitely more local, keeping it that way. So there's so much play on that, but as far as the event itself, we really, last year, the last one, we kind of worked out, with where everything's gonna be set up with the bike lane, because then the bike lane was
There.
existing,
Yeah.
so we just sorted that out. We figured out how to get the stage in
Take
there.
those bollards down.
Yeah, but I think
we-
eventually there's gonna be curbing there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what their plan is.
Oh, so that's temporary.
I thought that was.
Yeah, I think
thought they were doing curb
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting knocked down on
on a
Daily basis?
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's,
Because there's 4 screws that hold those in.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's some automotive or DOT require, even though that's not a DOT road, but road requirements for some type of curbing.
It has to be for a bike lane.
I think so.
Yeah, he was able to get the stage in. It took him a minute, but
Yeah,
and we shifted a little bit.
but I don't think anybody even.
No.
They shifted it, but we did. Yeah, we did.
This room.
But I think, yeah, nobody really knew it was
Yeah.
shifted
No.
and that was okay for them, how that, I mean, they didn't say
It didn't-
anything.
it-
so
like it was any-
It took him a minute to try to get
maneuver.
maneuvered, because he's got to be able to,
I have to make sure there's nobody,
right.
I have to talk to showrooms the day before and make sure there's nobody in those spaces and that kind of thing.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, he did it,
He didn't, it was like
yeah.
smaller
Yeah,
spaces and.
yeah. He's used to back
Yeah,
that
so-
sucker up and.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
seemed to, nobody really, everybody was able to, vendors, food trucks, everybody ran their,
Yeah, I think the biggest worry was getting electricity to some of them, but that worked out fine. We had enough mats. to
we did those,
cover
we got all those mats, so I think it was,
Yeah.
as far, I
the
didn't,
Mats, do we need an extra mat down at the farmer's market for the bus?
Well, that's something that Matthew and I are gonna talk about.
Okay,
because
all right.
we don't know if we're gonna move him back to the plaza or not. So we'll.
Okay, all right. It just came in my head.
What I said.
Sorry.
so, I don't foresee any, I think that's just gonna go on as usual. Stacy, are you still gonna do, volunteer area?
We can do, we can do the
That was,
sandwiches.
everybody loved that.
That was great, that worked out.
Oh, it's so tired of pizza. Your sandwich is
Yeah.
primo.
That worked out really well, so if you're up for that,
Bakery pizza, the flat rock bakery, I don't get tired of, but the thick crust, yeah.
Okay.
so
We can
that,
spice it up a little bit this year, Peggy, we'll see.
All right.
that's,
This is gonna make you a pizza now.
Oh, no.
Marcos.
No, you don't need pizza, no.
There is pizza.
No, you're not a pizza person.
so as far as that, the VIP tent sponsor is coming back, so we don't have to worry about that. Mike is coming back to do the food there, so that went really, really well. He was
Enjoyed that.
a big hit.
Yeah.
He is really good at what he does. He is an excellent caterer. So he was just, he was on top of everything. He had a plan for, it was totally different every month, so. And that was great. He owns, Salty Landing and, what's the?
I never got down to
Does he
see
own
the
both of
food,
them?
but.
Surf and Brew. He owns Salty Landing and Surf and Brew.
Fletcher, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Oh, yeah.
does both of those restaurants.
Yeah.
He has he does like catering for 500.
I didn't realize
kind
he
of
did
thing.
that. That's.
So he does full catering and he'll do any amount of people. So, yeah, he just is really good at what he does. So I was really, really happy with that and really happy that he's gonna do it again this
They've
year.
got good lobsters
Um,
too. They fly them in Friday mornings and.
Yeah, he does.
Really good dumpsters.
So those two things are all set.
If you've got any band requests, send them. I know Jackson.
Yes,
And they're looking at them.
the Clever Lays.
Yeah,
That'd be great. if-
yeah, I know either you or Lou or somebody has reached out to him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think Lou said he had already had the contact for their management company, so I think he was gonna get me that information. And anybody I didn't have any under, so I do a list, I do a running list and kind of like weed out who's, doesn't really sound great and who does and all that kind of stuff. But then I have everybody's name, and I put whatever you wanted under your name. So I don't have anything. I have yours, Jack, but I don't think I have anybody else's.
What do you?
So, band,
I'll give you guys a
Bands.
recommendation.
band recommendations.
Ah,
You usually
every
have.
time I did, or we got tossed out, so
Oh, well.
Several that you suggested.
I knew you.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
See, they
I thought it was
just
just-
slides,
I just wanted to get Jamie's reaction.
Uh,
Many. It's
Uh,
maybe a little too expensive.
Maybe.
Well, but if you do,
It might be like
Get 'em in
$10,000 or $20,000.
If you're asking, if you're still asking for something, then I'd be. glad.
Yeah, yes,
yeah,
no.
so, this week and the beginning of next week is when I'll be working on that list and trying to, whittle it down because it's amazing. I had four emails and one call. Yes, just yesterday. It was like, whoa, okay, it's crazy. So yeah, a lot of play.
The update that people in Hollywood had auctioned off stuff to help
Yeah.
fund the Love Hendo. So
Mhm.
like there are people in the world that
Wow.
weren't normally aware of Hendersonville, especially in this different
Yeah.
circuit. That's
Uh-huh.
catching people's attention. So I would
Yeah.
imagine that's.
Yeah,
really
so it's amazing. I'm like, I don't, how do you even figure this out? But it's great. So,
Oh, I want to talk real quick on the possibility of a beverage tent outside of,
yes, sure.
just kind of looking at ways we can kind of diversify our
Yeah.
money coming in. And we had several requests over the years for non-alcoholic beer, which we've had a little bit in the VIP tent. And then John Patsy have bottled water, but it's kind of like on the down low sort of thing. So,
That's kind of the business model I was gonna look at.
yeah, okay.
Having as non-alcoholic drinks, because when it's really hot, the lemonades and the shrimp drink do really well.
Mhm.
So just kind of making that more
Mhm.
and less of the other.
Okay, so that might be something we can kind of talk with you on too, just so that way we've got that option for people instead of, because the people have to, just so that way all of our volunteers know where to send people.
Mhm.
So then we can drink the non-alcoholic when we're doing our shifts.
Huh?
Non-alcoholic when we're doing our shifts, just.
We have to figure out what the, I don't know if they're, like, if non-alcoholic beer can be sold just like you're selling a,
Well, because it
Because you got-
still comes from the distributor.
yeah, so we have to figure out how that,
You
Yeah.
wouldn't be interested in a non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
Maybe
Oh.
more, just.
Other kinds of drinks. Okay.
The peach tea, the raspberry tea, so people could come get
Right.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Rather than, but if you wanted a non-alcoholic.
yeah, that probably need to be something that we're.
Because there's spritzers too, like
Yeah.
the spritzers and the NA beer and the NA spritzers, I
Yeah.
think would do really well.
Yeah.
They're looking to buy tickets for it, right? So just looking
Yeah,
at that.
Yes, it'd probably be just
By the other.
set up then, cause people pay the same amount for non-alcoholic beer that they pay for
Yeah.
regular beer
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah,
And it would be just, stuff that we've, just like what we do with bottled water, stuff that we just pack it up and move it away.
Different breweries have their version and
Some of
not,
them
I
do,
know Sierra
Yeah.
Nevada have, and I don't know
Yes.
about Bull Rock.
it's a complete, you have to have a completely different BAP for that. It's a totally different thing. So that's why you're only really seeing it in a lot of the larger, if you really, because it's a big layout
I see.
to do the NA.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you say
Falls,
Dry Falls?
Yeah, they said that
did?
they have one, but I think because it won't be necessarily the highest demand, I think cans would be better than
Definitely.
doing
Draft.
Cause they don't can anything at Dry Falls, I don't think.
Yeah,
So-
fans would
And
definitely.
Sierra Nevada now has so it won't necessarily be high, like, cause it won't be high volume like the rest of the
Right.
year. So it'd probably be like how we had to do with cans before that. Like, make sure we don't have too much.
With the
So then at
heat.
the end of the night, we can pack it up, cause you weren't here when we were packing up those cases, 20 cases of Sierra Nevada and putting it in the back of my car and taking it to the basement the night after we were packing.
Oh, my gosh.
That one,
Huh?
that's before Sierra Nevada had their trailer.
Yeah, so that was a few years
They
ago.
would just bring.
Okay, cause I'm like, I don't,
It was,
Oh, wow.
it was
yeah.
a lot of extra lifting at the end of it.
And we gave some away to people too, like, hey, you want some? And
But when we didn't have big sales, we were having to pack up and move
it was,
at like 11 o'clock at night.
That's a lot.
yeah, 11 to
So
midnight.
anyway, we won't have that many as far as non-alcoholic, but
Yeah,
that's.
but then, so I'm sure everybody saw the Surgeon General's, so, and then like a half hour later, they're in my feed, every day, there's a feed about NA beer and NA wine, like every single day in the news feed, so it is gonna step up a little bit more from what it has been, I think, so. Yeah, I think the popularity is gonna get a little bit more. So I think that's a really good idea to kind of have that a little more visible for sure.
Visible variety.
It could be put next to my tent.
Yeah.
Then that way that'll block people from walking through there. And we have no shortage of volunteers because normally I have more than what I need for the beer tents. Okay.
Okay.
So headliner budget, and you say you're tightening it up.
Very, very, very much, very much.
It's the same
Yeah.
last year, what we ended up spending.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but if we don't have to
Yeah.
spend that, I don't want to.
Things I come up with usually are up here, you know.
Up there.
I mean, you never know. So like,
It might
we had some who, especially with us being on a Thursday night and
Yeah.
people like hurricane.
Yeah, I have a spiel. I have a spiel on one and they came down $1,000.
Wow.
Because I say, it's,
Good advertising.
yeah, but I say, because they say, oh, we really want to play with that. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm not quite sure where our level would be at as far as a band like you. Because this year we've had a disaster in our area, and I don't even say, I say, we've had a disaster recently in our area, and a good bit of our funding, because we are a nonprofit, has pretty much all been given to the Helene disaster relief. And then every single time, the money goes whoop.
Oh, that's nice.
It's good.
So,
Good, good.
So, and it's the truth. I mean, this
Yeah.
is what has
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And so, every time I've said that, have said, oh, well, we'll definitely work with you. And there's also been well, we're close to there, we're 3 hours away, but this person in our band has family, this person went to go help. And so then it kind of forms a little bond there. And so I've been kind of working that one.
Yeah, and on that note, just since y'all probably aren't on the board to see for the Friends of Downtown, because we've had some money to do stuff over the years, we were able to contribute for the business recovery fund. So we contributed $15,000 towards it. And then overall, though, we've given out $275,000 for businesses
Wow.
and almost $50,000 or a little over $50,000 went to specifically Main Street, 7th Avenue businesses.
Nice,
Well,
good.
we only, out of our 15,000, it went got up to 50 some going out. So it's for a good cause.
Yep.
And speaking of money. This week I am redoing, updating and doing a new.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we gonna do Rhythm and Brews from June to October again?
Yes.
Good, okay. Good, good.
I'll do a separate sponsorship page for 7th Avenue. So that'll be kind of a one-time thing that I'll go out and kind of pound the pavement for that to get funding for that. I've got some ideas of who would be a good fit for that. And I tentatively also have the Honeycrisp sponsoring that, or being one of the sponsors for that. I talked to them yesterday, I talked to their agent yesterday, so I do have somebody.
Okay. Kyle.
The agent that they have a person now working, it's Victoria Estrada, so I connected, and actually this person called me yesterday, and this is another fantastic thing that is happening. I'm so happy. But she is an agent for different companies. She has, one of her clients is the Honeycrisp. She has a whole book of clients, and what she does for them is handle all their marketing. And part of their marketing is the sponsorships, is getting it out there. Because the bottom line, companies have to do it because taxes.
Yeah.
So it's got to go somewhere. So it might as well go to us. So, but I'm not sure once these come out, because we have had a very different year than we've ever had. So I am not positive, other than a few, of who is definitely coming back and who is not. And we also had some really not great rhythm and brews. So,
Because of the weather.
because of the weather,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely, because of the weather. So
Right,
I'm like,
otherwise-
oh, they were great, but they were great, except the weather was not great. So, as far as funding for that, so we're definitely down. So, and I'm not not what I'm working with. So if if you can think of anyone like, oh, that would be a really good fit for, because we have,
The wristbands especially, right?
yes,
Because
yes.
Norms has been, and Norms isn't Norms anymore. Yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Burns, yeah.
So, and that's a good one, because it was
That
like
is
a
a
free
good
coffee
one.
with a wristband
Yeah.
type of deal.
Well,
So we do have a couple of things that are opening up. We have we have the wristbands that have opened, that haven't opened in a long time.
What are the wristbands? Those are the actual things that everybody.
Actual wrist.
Yeah, they purchased
Yeah,
for
that
the-
they wear, yeah.
Yeah.
That one, it's a
It's
a
an
level and
add-on.
an add-on. What is it like? It's
It's a-
3,500 plus amount or something like that.
I can pull up,
Yeah,
what
like-
norms.
We can send it to you, because it's,
Just pull up the Canva.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, 'cause
and
it's
say
like-
the number
it's
is.
got like a base level and sponsorship.
Yeah, and I
the
can't remember
add-on
which
to
the
cover
base
costs or
level
something. I
is,
can't
and then
remember.
there's add-ons.
Mhm.
And I can if you pull that Canva,
It's the tab.
pull up,
The koozie not available, is it?
Oh. Say what?
The koozie not available, is it?
No, or they haven't said no, but I don't think that Horizon's gonna,
Yeah, that's
I
probably.
doubt
Yeah,
they
they-
will.
yeah,
But
I
I'd be-
don't think we'll lose that one.
I'd be interested in the wristbands.
Uh-oh.
You know, the camera works.
Oh, sorry. She gets first dibs. I thought it would make a great free
Shaking.
popcorn, but maybe free sourdough bread would be
Shaking is
nice.
what? So it's that sponsorship is, you have to be at the shaking level, so that's 3,500. And then the add-on is 1,500.
It's 5,000 total.
So, Garden Jubilee Stellar is definitely in. Working a little bit differently with the speaker series. I'm gonna need, because of the tent, that just went up a lot. So I'm gonna need a lot more money for that, where I think we're gonna split those now into 2 levels. And just not real sure about what's gonna happen. So I'm hitting sponsorship really, really hard. I'll be pounding the pavement. I'll be making calls in anyone for Garden Jubilee, for Rhythm and Brews, Farmers Market. Farmers Market, I think will be pretty much the same, but once again, I'm not sure with that either. But if any of our events, you think, oh, that would, you're talking to somebody or in a store or whatever it is. I'm more than happy if you think, oh, they would actually be a really good fit. If you just tell me who that is, I love larger companies better. Because this year I feel like, the smaller companies, you know, maybe they've taken a hit, maybe they're not doing so great, so, but maybe you're thinking like there's a larger company they've got to make that tax write-off anyway, you know? So, and if they're a good fit, like it's, you know, like Walt, if you're at a company that you're redoing, like a landscaper that's at some house or something like that, is a perfect fit for Garden Jubilee. Anything,
Actually, we have a couple.
so.
I'll talk to them.
So it's like anything like home renovations is great with Garden Jubilee and landscapers, landscape architects, anything like that
Sponsorship.
for sponsorship. Yep. So, yeah, if you guys could just keep your ears open and let me know of anything you might come across, that would be great, because I'm just not, usually I'm like, "Oh, everybody's gonna come back," but this year I'm just not sure about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a, we'll see.
So,
We
and
know
also,
Solar is gonna be coming back.
yes,
here.
Sculler is definitely coming back. And,
So $3,500. What gets you in the door, or? Did you say that $3,500?
oh, that, they were asking about,
That's Rhythm and Brews.
that's Rhythm and Brews, yeah.
So the sponsorship price for Garden Jubilee.
Garden Jubilee runs, Seller is coming back, they're at 7,500. Speaker series, the top level sponsor speaker series is 5,000. Second level, 2,500, and then it's 1,500. But that'll get you 1,500 will still get you a booth, a promotional booth. Just doesn't give you exclusivity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but there'll be a 2,500 one that's not, that hasn't previously been there before too.
Of course, they're gonna ask, if I talk to somebody, that they're gonna ask, well, what do they get for 2,500 or 50?
You don't have to talk to anybody.
Oh.
Just if you feel like, oh my gosh, they would be a good fit, I'll talk to them. Yeah,
She's got a whole packet.
I can definitely talk people out of money. I'm really good at it.
That's why you're in the role you're in.
I've been a professional fundraiser for about 20 years, so I can get money. I love it. I love asking for money.
I like spending.
Yeah, so if you guys could just help me out with that, if you can, or if you think of anything, that would be great. And and because we don't have that TDA funding, that makes a difference in our year. That's, because they've given us
They've given us a lot in the last
lot of money. So,
Which is,
So-
it's been great, but then now we've budgeted for more because we've received them more. We didn't just get it to be able to, we were able to save some of it, but it was for like extra marketing or a higher event budget type of stuff. So then now we just gotta pull back to what we were.
yeah,
Some of
so
that.
it's a little scary, but I think it'll be fine.
And before you came in, Jack, we were showing about the new barricades we've got, the city has. So these, I don't know if
Oh.
you. So those are, vehicle rated barricades,
Instead of the orange ones?
yeah, so it won't be for all of the events, cause they're very expensive, but we got them, and we first used them at Halloween, basically at the two main entrances, cause that's where cars can like pick up speed.
Show them the video. Do you have it there?
Yeah, we're, police and public works are still trying to figure out the process of setting it up, but once they are set up, there's, ways with wheels that they can be
Move.
rolled back and forth
Oh, wow.
really easily.
Like some people can move like a long stretch. pretty
Yeah.
much by themselves.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is what they do, just so.
Nice.
I like that.
So hopefully we don't see them in action.
Ever.
But that's something that they've, so the city, you know, the last several years has been figuring out more about keeping the event perimeter safely, and especially after what just happened in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's gonna be definitely top of mind for it.
Mhm.
So they've got those, and we're still trying to figure out all of the logistics for it, but that will reduce the water barricades for some of the.
It won't get wet every night.
Yeah, draining those in October was a little silly.
And I think the long-term plan is to have more
Yeah,
of these.
yeah.
And then slowly, because these are not cheap,
Yeah,
slowly get rid of the water barricades and just have these,
I
but.
know logistically it's horrible. It'd be nice to have the ones that automatically pop up, but
Yeah.
they probably have.
we,
Million.
we had that in the plans for Maple Street, for the part of the streetscape, and they had to get pulled, but that they're still looking at how we can do them. So we have to make sure that they're vehicle rated, because if they're not, then the car will still plow through them. So our plan was for Maple Street, because they'd be used more often than anywhere else.
Right.
It's to, use that as like a test run to see how they work. So
Right there at Maple and Seventh. Put it there, yeah.
So are those gonna be at the farmer's market?
we're not sure yet.
Well, I'd love to see them there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we, Dakota?
Yes.
Especially with those last minute entries that come in when we tell them no.
Yeah, and with how they are with the wheels, they really won't be that difficult to move around. So we're not sure on the details of everything yet.
Yeah.
Where they'll be.
Yeah.
It didn't stop that little truck, it just slowed it down.
Yeah,
No, it
Well, it's
can't
not-
go.
but now the truck can't go.
Can't go.
Cause it goes into the pavement. Like
It
it's got
goes
spikes
into
that
the
go into
pavement, and then you don't really see it on here, but the top part,
Mhm.
there's spikes on
Oh,
that, and
there we go.
it stabs the bottom of the car and makes it
Of
inoperable.
course, it's the gas tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All done.
No,
That's
I
what-
mean, you definitely don't want to hit one of those suckers.
They have
Cause your car will,
Adam and it still got through.
they didn't use them, so their bollards
Hey.
were broken.
Oh.
So they didn't have the bollards, and they have these, they actually have bigger ones than these.
Wow.
They're a little different, but they're these, but it actually flips the car over. But they didn't put them out.
That, I hope nobody finds that out. Those
Oh, they-
family might.
already.
There almost got fired. over that.
Lost,
Yeah.
yeah, wow.
Now that was, cause it came out like, I think like 2 or 3 days later. I was watching the news, and that's how I saw everything, is because they showed the ones that they have, and they showed them, and they just said that they just were thinking, they were really focusing more on the football game, at the Sugar Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
And,
It's a ball
Yeah.
game.
whatever,
It's a college football.
college football game, is it the Sugar? I think it's the something, but anyways, that was supposed to be that,
That's Saturday.
yes.
And they.
And then they, it was somebody, they postponed it, so that everybody was like really focused on that game and all that thing, and so they were thinking about that, and they
Didn't have a heavy closure.
Yeah,
didn't do a full closure.
they should have. They know better than that, idiots. I know, when they farm,
Yeah.
they need to do, I mean, my God.
If you're gonna party, you gotta be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Run that again.
There's more, there's more.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
They show one with a big, that one.
This is what I was waiting for.
I just want to see something.
Science.
That's the part I'd like to do. I'd like to test this.
I would.
How I can destroy them. Oh, wow, that's so cool. And it stopped it.
Wow. All right,
That's cool.
take back what I said.
To see it stab,
So it grabs underneath.
it grabs and grab and stab.
So, boy, there's those truckers out. Their trucks, the way they drive.
Pump to the gas tank and explodes.
Right, well, there is that.
It sparks. Explodes.
No.
But I think it does a number on the tires too,
Yeah, it looks-
probably.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, when it gets knocked up in the air and they come straight down like that too, I mean, that's.
yeah, there's a lot.
that's like your action.
That's not something people want to mess around. Don't tempt it.
Yeah, that sucker,
Oh, there'll be people who will attempt it, trust me.
Yeah, Terry.
a little tin can, it'd be like in two pieces.
God.
That just reminds me when we went back to the fire station for the demo and we were turning in there and you were like, I didn't even see those there.
They're so low,
Yeah, they're-
you know, that you know, but definitely don't hit them.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all I have, unless anybody can think of anything else.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, true. 2025. Lord.